Hi there, it's Sam from pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is where I'm revisiting one that I did a while ago. Now, some of you know I was poorly last week, and I generally build and design prototypes at the front end of the week that I then film on a Thursday to come out the following week. And unfortunately, those were the days that I was in bed ill. So rather than just chuck any old thing together and it just not be a very good project, I decided this week to revisit a couple of my old favourites. And this was one that I did, I think maybe June time last year, it was a box, and I did a black version with Melamambo on the front, and then I did a spotty version, then I had a big fluffy flower on the front, but I've decided to revisit it with current colours and papers for you, and with a slightly different flower. And this time with a hinged handle, because quite a lot of people said to me, oh, why don't you put brads in, you can have a hinged handle. So I heard what you were all saying, and that's what I've done. So I'm going to show you how to make this one. This one's Coastal Cabana, with the beautiful Fresh Prints Designer Series paper, which is going to be leaving us really soon, but I'm going to do a crumb cake version. So I'm going to pop that out of the way. The piece of cardstock you need is 8 by 11. Generally have one without a bit of sponge red, real red ink in. I've just managed to splodge. So 8 by 11 inches, which is 20 by 28 centimetres. And you also need another strip, which is going to be the handle, which is basically 3/4 of an inch, so it's the strip of the length. So whether yours is 11 inches or 11 3/4 inch paper, you just need a long, thin, roughly 11-inch strip that's 3/4 of a centimetre wide, which is 2 centimetres. So you need that piece as well. So grabbing my scoring tool and my stylus, which I forgot to get out, with the long side at the top, you score it at 4.5 and 6.5 inches, which is 11.5 and 16.5 centimetres. So slap bang in the middle. So you're going to have a 2-inch bottom. This part of your box is 2 inches, which is 5 centimetres. Then when you turn it round, on the 8-inch side, you're going to score it at 2 inches and 6 inches, which is the 20 centimetre side, and so you're scoring it at 5 and 15, which means that the bit in the middle is 4 inches wide, which is 10 centimetres wide. So it's 2 by 10, and then the top is 4.5 inches, which is, can't remember, 11.5 centimetres. There you go. So that's the size of the box. And that's all the scoring. Oh, I love a box that doesn't require too much scoring. So fold on your score lines and burnish well. This, yeah, as I said, this is crumb cake cardstock. Lovely colour. And definitely don't drop your real red sponge on your cardstock seconds before filming. Not clever. This is exactly what I've done. So there's some bits to trim. So having it in the horizontal way, we're going to cut up these 2 squares and we're going to notch in those 2. And we're also going to notch in one of these, because if I bring this in, can you see that slight slope there? That just means that you're going to get this perfect, absolutely spot on, precise, perfect finish at the top. And we like spot on, perfect, precise at the top, don't we? So notch into those ones. And do the same on the opposite side. And at this stage, we are completely symmetrical that way and that way. So it doesn't matter which one of these you're going to notch into. But once you do, you know that that is going to be your back. That's going to be the back of the box. So that's going to fold up. They're going to fold round. And these perfectly rectangular ones are going to fold round that. And so that's how you get this perfect finish all the way round. The handles, it's kind of up to you as to whether you punch your holes now or punch your holes later. I'm going to punch them now to show you where to punch your holes. And you want it at about the 2-inch mark coming down from the top, which is 5 centimetres. So just kind of approximate in the middle and approximately over on the other side. So that's where you're going to put your first mark. And you need to do the same on the other side. So, and you obviously have to measure from this part, obviously not there, because it wouldn't work. So 2-inch mark is there, so that's the centre of it. And my 2-inch mark there, the 5 centre mark is there, and that's the centre point. So that's where you're punching your holes. So grab your paper piercer, and this is where the brad is going to fit through. Just push your holes in. And keep going all the way. That's not very central, is it? That's a bit more central. And then that will be ready for when you put your handle on. Let's come to that in a minute. And I want to put the DSP on the front. So obviously now we know that this with the slopey bit is the back. So this therefore is the front. So the piece of DSP that I have got is 4 1/4 by 3 3/4, which is 11 by 9.5. And on my original box, I actually had the black as the base, then I had a white layer that I'd sponged over, and then I had another layer which was the DSP that I'd put on. So it's up to you if you want to go back and look at the original and do the layering that I did like that. And like I say, I think it was June last year, June or July. But it's up to you. All, you know, kind of all I'm showing you is the bones, the skeleton of the box, and it's up to you how you decorate. There we go. Oh, that was really badly lined up. Look at that, it's all close there. We'll pretend it's gorgeous and it's fine. Okay. So, liquid glue. We need liquid glue on these parts because they're going to fold in. And then also on this part, the slopey side part, because that's going to fold in as well. So, little squodge there and a squodge there, avoiding the hole. Little squodge over here and over here. And the first thing you do is you line up the inside underneath the slopey sided bit. And then when you bring it round, line up this part here. So don't line your tops up, line up that part. And you can fit your hand inside, and then that has given you that finish that goes all the way around without lumps and bumps and sticky outy bits or anything like that. So again, fold in your gluey one first, your little gluey one, then your next gluey one, and then fold up the sides. And that again is perfectly flush there. And somehow my holes didn't line up. Why did they not line up? I don't know. Oh, that's peculiar. They didn't line up. But it's okay because we've already started them, so we can just push through. There we go. How strange. That should have lined up. Oh, I don't know why that didn't happen. But it's fine. It's fitted on nicely. Right, before I put the handle on, I'm going to do the little bit of floral stamping, which I've done here. And I've got 2 punches and a piece of Whisper White cardstock. It's got my pansy punch. And I've punched 2 of these out, and one of them I have split, so I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then I also have the gorgeous Petite Petals. Yes, Fennel thinks it's gorgeous too. She's just woken up. She's just going to sit with her back to me outside the office door. Real red I've got this time because I'm doing a different colourway. And that's the red that's in the background here. So it's Coastal Cabana Pool Party, I think. I can't remember if that's Pool Party or Soft Sky. That's Crumb Cake and that's Real Red. So I'm just picking up the colours. So sponge around the edges of all 3. And then this one as well. Move your ink so you don't stick your elbow in it, which is my favourite thing to do. And with one of these, you cut between the petals, not all the way into the middle, because obviously you don't want to cut a petal off, but just enough so that you can lift it up. So can you see I've only got a tiny little bit of cut there. So do that all the way round. And then grab your bone folder, turn it over, and if you grip your bone folder as though you're curling a piece of paper, and make sure to hold tight so you don't rip it off, just curl the tips, and this will curl more than if you hadn't trimmed down, because you can obviously, you know, pull the flower even closer inside, so, you know, or even in as tight as that. Then I need to get my brad ready, and these are the beautiful antique brads. I did carefully select 3 and then I shook it well, not deliberately shook the box, but I happened to pick it up and it shook. There's the third one that matches. There we go. There's the 3 that I want that match. So I've got one of those ready to go in the flower. Got the petite petals one first, hole straight in the middle of there. This is the next layer. And this is the final layer. So this is going to sit at the bottom. Straight in the middle. Brad through the first one in the middle, and that's, whoops, that's just a good size, I think, there. Into the next one. So it's just going to sit in the middle. Whether you offset it or not is up to you. I like the sort of offset look. And then this one over the top. This one definitely do offset your petals so that they're peeping behind each other. And then you can just bring those lovely petals up, and that is your flower. Isn't it sweet? Right, handle, bone folder, very gently just stretch the fibres a little bit. We don't want this to go all spirally, but we do want it to have a little bit of a natural bend in it. If you did it any more than that, it would just go into a bit of a loop. Round the corners of it, because it just looks that little bit prettier. And I've just got the new Project Life punch. And it's got a bigger curve on it than our old corner rounder. So that's the difference between them. Just round that a tiny little bit more. That one was 3/16 of an inch. I don't know what this one is, but it's certainly a bigger curve. So there we go. That's cute. And then punch a couple of holes in there. And there. And then we can attach this now to our bag with its wibbly wonky DSP on the front. Pop those through. And the same on the other side. She's right outside the office door. She's just prowling at the moment. So that gives you a sort of a hinged kind of handle, which is quite cute. And it's long enough. I think any longer, if you push that up any higher, it just wouldn't balance quite right. And then some glue dots or some liquid glue or whatever you fancy on the back of that. I'm going to put a few on because I want one over the brad legs. But I also want some extra just for reinforcement purposes. And then pop that where you fancy it. And that is my revisited handled box. Like I say, revisiting something from last year. And it looks cute. I like it in the different ways. I think I like this one best of all, but this one's a bit more of a retro sort of, I don't know, 70s kind of feel to it, perhaps. That's what it's looking like to me. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.